Generally start with a general search. Somebody who wanted help with this, give me your topic. Is it time to get this answer
I
for
did
you?
seating arrangements affecting on-task behavior, and to be honest, there's not a lot out there on it.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. Or
Okay,
everything
but
out there was inconclusive.
But, yeah, well that's
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
Can you drink something? Okay, someone who hasn't done a literature review, who wants help with it, give me their topic. Yeah,
I did touch math with Down syndrome students.
okay. Students with Down syndrome.
Yes.
Person first language. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right, so I'm just going to do touch math and see what's out there on that. And here's what you'll do. You'll do like one thing, and you'll either get like 1,000 hits, or you'll get none, right? Oh, I forgot. This is acting really slow this morning. So we only got 9. Darn, I was hoping for something more challenging. So I just put touch math and I got 9. Okay, that's like an easy number to look through. All right, just got a great topic. Okay, someone else who has a broad topic. Yeah.
I've been trying to figure this out. We work in a virtual environment. Special ed in virtual environments kind of difficult. So I wanted to do something with that. I couldn't find
Okay, yes.
anything.
A challenge. All right, so the challenge here, I think, is the virtual environment part, because you don't know what this system calls that. So I'm going to try like online teaching and special education. Okay, and here's teacher ed programs. That's not what you want. This is teacher ed. This is teacher ed too. Okay, so yes, so I crash and burn with that too.
That's the
Now,
problem I've been having.
I'm going to put online teaching. Do you teach in elementary or secondary?
Secondary.
Okay, so I'm going to try secondary education, which should get rid of a lot of the teacher ed programs. I'm hoping for at least one. Oh, 50, yes. Okay, who's teaching online across the United States? Okay, this is good, right? It might not be special ed, but you might have to sometimes go to the general ed literature to find what you want. Okay, so let's take a look here. Look, online courses. What else? Virtual classrooms, web-based instruction. All right, so that's what they call, what I'm calling online teaching. Okay, so what you want to do is then play around with these. Okay, so what I would do next, I don't have time to go into the whole thing, but I would look at some of the others, and I would find ones that are most pertain to what you're looking for. Like I think this one's pretty good. So I would find the one you say, okay, this one's closest. Then you look at their subject headings. Then put those in there and try to put special education with them and see if you can get anything. Okay? Yeah.
Is it okay, like, if you find studies that are close, but say, like, when I've been doing that, it says a lot of studies, there just aren't a lot of studies on it. So based on these studies, this is what.
That's a perfect quote. The cool thing is if you can find a quote like that for someone to say, we need more research on blah. And then it's like, okay, you're made. Like I was just helping someone with their dissertation, and I said, okay, you have to find the quote. So I was able to find that perfect quote that says, there's not much out there, okay, on whatever. That's your quote that you're going to put in there.
Okay.
So any other questions about searching the literature? It's mostly like finding what the database calls it.
Do you want to try one more?
Sure.
Rosetta Stone,
Oh.
language learning, and
Okay.
vocabulary development in preschool.
Okay, so we're going to start with just Rosetta Stone. Would you try to start bigger? Okay, you only have 3. Wow, that is not about the actual Rosetta Stone. Oh, but look, self-study with language learning software in the workplace. So you might not get Rosetta Stone, but you might get language learning software. Okay, so let's look at this one. You need to try computer software, second language instruction. Okay, then I would put those in there and see what the results are. Does that make sense? Okay, because the hardest thing is finding, well, what is the database I'm using call? You know, and it might be like, okay, well, I'm gonna say special education, but if I put in disabilities, I might find something different, and there's like no reason why, right? We just try our best with that. And it's mostly sort of cracking the database code. Okay, and I would also just Google research on Rosetta Stone or something. And you don't want to just use the research that Rosetta Stone people have done.
Well, that's all I found so far.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you do then?
Okay, so I would look for the research in what I just said, the second language acquisition and whatever they called the other thing. Let me look back at that. I didn't really like the computer software a lot. I liked the, well, if you put computer software in with second language instruction, or computer assisted instruction, okay, you might not find any just on that, but you'll be able to find other programs. All right, research backing. It kind of makes an argument. It's like saying, here's the main argument. Because there's someone who hasn't written this up yet, tell me what your topic is. It's worth your while to do so because I can help you with this.
The literature review?
Yeah. Someone who's not totally done with the literature review or not totally satisfied.
Mine's,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, first.
Well, I'm kind of sort of satisfied. Our school district has adopted SFA, so I sat on a committee last
Okay,
year,
what's SFA?
Success for All Reading.
Oh, yes, okay.
So I teach children with severe cognitive disabilities. I was on a district committee to look at Tier 3 reading instruction. We adopted reading mastery, language for learning, corrective reading.
Uh-huh.
So my project is taking a look at children who have had at least a year of direct instruction in reading and their ability to be inclusive in Success for All and make literacy gains, as opposed to children who have had no direct instruction reading and are making little to no gains.
Okay, so these are students with severe disabilities. Okay, so here's the argument that I would make, which don't panic, it's not the argument you made, that's fine, there are many ways to go. So the argument might be, students with severe disabilities need help with reading, okay? And all this would be put a little nicer, okay? But so you start with that broad thing. Then you might say, okay, there's some different ways that have been used to address this. Here's some different ways. Here's some ways that are effective. And then just list like 1, 2, 3. And then say, sort of, here's the research that's been done on those. And then I'm going to study this. So then it kind of comes down. Does that make sense? So like we've got severe disability in reading, then we've got what can be used for that. Here are some things that have been used for that. Here's what I'm using.
I guess that's kind of what I'm doing because I've collected data all year through Ames Web, Success for All, Reading Mastery, Games Checklist. I collected enough data to support the need that 2 of my children needed direct instruction because they had made no literacy gains all year in Success for All. So my district finally in January said, now we'll backpedal, we'll let you try direct instruction for the remainder of the school year. So that's kind of the approach I'm looking at.
Okay,
Children
and
with
also, it sounds as though from what you're saying, you could end up one of those people who writes too much.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of
like an
because
entire
I've
book
read
on
some
this.
stuff and I'm like, well, how in the world I have so much data and so, I mean, Dr. Southern is excited about what I'm doing. I think he's not a real fan of SFA, so it's supporting me.
So
in
much the
what-
better, challenge us.
So it's supporting me, but I feel, that's exactly what I'm feeling, like very
Well,
overwhelmed
and
that
that's
it's
the
gonna
kind
be
of
a
thing
really big
Then
challenge
when you
to,
meet with me, that we can help with the organization.
okay.
Now, did you want help going over what your argument might look like?
yeah, I'm, how to, the communication between parents or students with disabilities. And I guess my problem is just, I wasn't real satisfied with how, I didn't know how to put the research into the review, like.
Okay, so what I might do is start out with communication with the parents is really important, okay? And then here's some things we can do to improve that communication based on the research. And then here's what I chose.
Okay.
You all see the similarities, like sort of looking at the broad picture and saying, this is an issue. Okay, now here's some things that we've learned from the literature can address that issue. Here's what I chose to look at.
Okay.
Okay, APA style. There's a nice link for some help with that. That's where, oh, I just said make sure you don't move too much and ask your advisor about scope. So I think that is a good pointer here. Okay, everyone needs to look at this slide. I estimate that 20% of our master's students plagiarize their literature review. Okay? If 90% of our students are practicing teachers, that means you are doing things you wouldn't want your students to do. Okay? Please, 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 I swear to you, I have one student, at least one, every single semester who copies all or part of their literature review. Don't do it. Paraphrase the literature. That means you put it in your own words. If you need help writing, we have a writing center. Okay, please don't do this. People look at what other people have written, copy and paste it from the internet. For some reason, I have a gift, which I hate, of figuring this out, okay? 20% of students do it. Change that, please. Do not do it. Do not copy from the internet or elsewhere. If you have more than 4 words, okay, from somewhere else, quote it, all right? I know it seems really shocking, but if you look at a quarter of this class, that's how many typically do this. I'm not talking necessarily about the whole thing, but maybe a paragraph or 2, okay? So don't do it. Use APA style, and it's not really a matter of like using APA style, because I talked to students who did this, and most of them say, I didn't use APA style correctly, okay? And that's not the case. They copied from someone, okay? So that's just saying when you paraphrase, okay, so like you're putting in your own words, like you tell your students, okay, then you put parentheses and you put where it came from, okay? I'm actually talking about people copying everything, okay? Copying sentences, paragraphs, the entire literature review. We don't want to see a whole lot of quotes because it looks kind of weird when there's like this quote and this quote and this quote from the professional literature. So you try to say in your words what you can. And what's your name in the green?
Jessica?
Okay, so what Jessica said is, like, I found someone who said, we need more work in this. Yes, that's perfect. Quote that at the end to say, we need more work in this, and we don't really know a lot about this. Okay, so please make sure that you read up on that and don't put your advisor in that position of saying, should this person be allowed to graduate or not? Okay, so I'm going to go on and talk a little bit about the write-up, okay, to talk to your advisor about, when you have this write-up complete, get approval of each stage, and I'm going to go over that really quickly, like what that is. But I also want to say, someone had asked that question earlier. Okay, when do we send it to the committee? First, your advisor has to be okay with the project. So the advisor is really the one who's going to give, the advice. So that person is going to say, going to look at your write-up and say, okay, it's okay now. They're going to give you some things to change. And then they're going to say, okay, I'm ready for you to send it to your committee. So don't send it to your committee members. Those are the 2 readers that you need who are not your advisor. Don't send it to them until the advisor says it's okay. Okay, so like when I'm the advisor, I'll read it and I'll say, here's some changes I'd like you to make. And then typically the student does it, and when they do that, then I say, okay, now you can send it to your committee. That's why we are giving you that July 18th deadline to get it to your advisor, because then the advisor has time to read it, say, make these changes, then you can send it to your committee. Questions about that process? Yes.
That's still for if you want to graduate and
Hey, if you can sit where the other people
all,
are.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you need that. So like, actually right here would be great, and I'm really not as scary as some people think. Most people don't think I'm scary, actually. But some people do. All right, so questions about that. Very important. And if you just came in, we're taking a video for you to watch. Yes.
So we just have to have it to our advisor by July 18th.
Yes.
And then from there to go to the committee, those 2 people, it's July 19th and on.
Hello, this is 652.
Yes.
If you could sit in here, where other people are sitting, that would be great. Please sit where other people are sitting. If you just came in, we're making a video for you to watch online. I'm sorry, I completely forgot the question I was answering, so whoever asked the question, ask it again.
I was just saying, so we have to have it by July 18th to our advisor, and then, July 19th on to the committee.
Yes, but it won't automatically go there.
Right.
Like, if I'm the advisor, I will say, it's fine, you've made your corrections, now send it to your committee. Okay? All right, other questions about that? That's a really important stage. Okay? That is why, oh, I'm sorry, please.
You look, I assume you already covered who the two readers should be.
Yes, yes, and that you need to look online for that. I'm happy to be one of the readers, if I'm not your advisor. Oh, and here's another thing. When you contact your advisor, a lot of us have a lot of projects, so don't just say like, hello, this is Nancy, I can't remember what to do next. It's a really good idea to say, hello, this is Nancy, my project is working with RTI, tier 2 and helping general ed teachers. There's just like a sentence, okay, saying like what it is and what stage you are at, because I have a lot of students, and it's kind of embarrassing for me to say like, I don't remember who you are, what your project is, so just sort of assume, because we have so many students, just to say, okay, remember this project, and then I'll remember it. Typically after a sentence, like, okay, I remember what that project is.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if, where it says step B here, letter from supervisor to advisor on official school letterhead, is that this? Or is that on
Yes.
top of this?
Yes, that is that. And you
Okay.
may have printed it out, I made a few tweaks to that.
Okay.
We're gonna go over that whole thing in just a
So
minute.
if this is from December
Yeah,
of
I made
last year.
Yes, look at it again.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to make sure everything aligns perfectly.
So then they just take this box and I put it on letterhead, like have my principal put this on letterhead?
No,
Or I don't have to do letterhead anymore?
right, you need to look at the new one,
Okay.
and I will just go over that in just a minute. Okay, so let me go over this again. Again, new master's option. Okay, what does this write-up look like? Okay, abstract. There's an abstract at the beginning of all research articles. It's a one-sentence summary of all of the pieces, okay? So I'm just thinking about, okay, no, you told me your name. Is it Renee?
My name, yeah, Renee, yeah. I
Yeah.
go by Renee, everything is Ann.
Okay. So Renee's abstract might be something like, this study addressed reading in students with severe disabilities. The purpose, something like I did this project because some of my students were not